Chapter 4, Roadside Battle. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm the Nufferdog, and welcome back to some more Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Here we are back at the Mercenary Fort. Last time we drove off some pirates from a port, and this time it looks like someone just came into the, base. This is important. Settle down, Mist. It's too early for you to be yelling like that. Now what's going on? Soren's back. He just arrived. Really? That's odd. He wasn't supposed to return for a while yet. This is the chapter when shiz gets real. This is when the main story really starts to pick up, when we stop doing regular mercenary work and start really getting into the plot. Ike, if you've got time to waste, you've got time to work. Get over to the briefing room. Yes, sir. Hey, what's going on around here? Bad news, something big is happening, and we need to formulate a plan of action. Soren. Hello, Ike. Long time no see. I'm happy to see you're back. But what happened? I thought you'd be studying for a while longer. It's a long story. What's the holdup? Get over here now! Let's go. I'll fill you in later. Soren's a pretty cool guy. He's the mage of the team. He can be a jerk sometimes, but he's not nearly as bad as Shinon. You probably remember that Soren's been training with another mercenary group. Well, he's back now, and he has some unbelievable news. What news is that? It's Crimea and Dain. They've gone to war. War? It can't be! That's why I've called everyone here. Soren has some more information. Go ahead, Soren. Alright. And we get to see the map for the first time. Take a look at this map. Ah, it's a map of Crimea, quite detailed from the looks of it. Yes, this is Melior, Crimea's capital. Our base of operations is right about here. Everything started 3 days ago. I needed to do some research, so I went to the archives of Melior's Royal Library. Without warning, the scream of a terrible beast, a wyvern perhaps, rent the air, and the building was rocked by a tremor. I rushed outside and saw wave after wave of knights, cavalry, and wyvern riders, each clad in glistening ebon armor, black as night. The Dain army? Correct. Was there provocation? As you know, relations between Crimea and Dain have never been friendly. However, the past centuries have seen only minor skirmishes, nothing that has ever approached the scale of this attack. It was brutal and without warning. Dain laid the capital to waste. I've never seen destruction on this scale before. A swift attack, devastating and brutal. A daring gambit indeed. But if it succeeds, a very well-chosen one at that. Yes, the King of Dain would not hesitate to employ such treacherous tactics. What happened next? King Crimea's brother deployed the Crimean army to meet the attack. The king ordered his people to flee the city before the battle reached them. Fearing the worst, I also fled and made my way here. So we don't know how the tides of battle flow now, do we? That's all right. Word of the war cannot have traveled far yet. We may well be the first ones who know of it out here. You did well to bring us this information, Soren. I know some risk was involved. It was nothing. Dain has invaded Crimea. We may be mercenaries, but this still affects us. What are we going to do? That's the question of the day. How do you see it, Titania? Crimea is the closest thing our company has to a homeland. The Crimean royal family and noble houses have been generous, providing us with many lucrative jobs. From a moral standpoint as well as a business one, it's in our best interest to help out Crimea. And you, Soren? I agree on one point. We are mercenaries. We are not Crimea's private militia. No coin has crossed our palms, so I think we should stay out of it. So you would have us sit and watch as Crimea is overrun? I would. Dain's troops are superior in both numbers and morale. The chances of a Crimean victory are slim indeed. But Crimea is ruled by King Ramon, who is known throughout the land for his wisdom, and his brother Duke Renning is said to possess peerless valor and courage. Dain may not find victory so easily. Valor and courage are for children's tales. In terms of military prowess, Dain's King Ashnard is every bit Lord Renning's equal. Victory will hinge on troop numbers and supplies, and Dain is superior in both. I think the outcome is painfully obvious. Curse you, Soren, Crimea is not doomed. If they can turn aside Dain's initial thrust and turn it into a test of endurance, with the Crimean army both demoralized and ill-prepared, they simply will not be able to hold out that long. All right, that's enough, both of you. Okay, not going to read every line out anymore, but sometimes with these big important moments I like to try to do that. I like that part. Alright. That was an order. Get moving. There's no time to waste. Alright, so we are going to go out with a small party of people. Oh, ooh, this is cool. This is cool. We got the Regal Sword, and we have to discard an item, so we'll discard the mostly damaged Iron Sword. A sword? Where did you get it? From Father. He told me to come and give it to you. It's beautiful. This is the first sword you've gotten that wasn't a hand-me-down from somebody, isn't it? That's great. Yeah. Well, be careful. Oh, and bring me a souvenir. Something nice. I've never been to Melior before. Mist, I'm not going on vacation. Sheesh. This is war, Mist. We have no time for such foolish things as souvenirs. This is also apparently now heavy metal. This is the first time we get to use a mage in battle, so that's cool. Also, invisible corpses. You'll see what I mean in a minute. When I look at you, I see a young man full of promise. Commander Grail is a great man, but I think you'll be every bit his equal. In time, you might even surpass him. Don't be ridiculous. It's just my opinion, you need not pay it any mind. Yet, if you fear your own weakness, why not take this chance to go out and better yourself? That would be more in keeping with your personality, no? I suppose you're right. How did things look over there, Soren? Same as here. There are corpses strewn everywhere. See? See? I said, invisible corpses. It's just like in battle where you stab people and they just sort of disappear. Crimean soldiers were members of the Imperial Guard, meaning King Ramon or another member of the royal family was on the move when Daean soldiers fell on them. That's actually quite important here. But it was not Lord Rang. And here come the bad guys. There's a party of 5 soldiers, an archer, and a knight. Who is, of course, the boss. You there! Who are you? What are you doing here? First instance of weird, unfitting names. Daean is not an Asia-alike country, but for some reason he has a Japanese name. Aijin. You're armed. Heed me. Drop your weapons and surrender. Act quickly or else. Listen to me, fool. You're making a mistake. We're not going to cooperate, eh? Ready your weapons, men. Move in and kill them all. Just headstrong fools. Getting caught up in some skirmish is not part of the plan. But they're obviously not going to listen to us. Grail mercenaries, get ready to fight. I really do like the music in this game. I mean, not every song is great, but there are some that are pretty amazing. Better led with Mist. Burn, Ike, how do you feel about that? You gonna let him just sit there and... You just gonna sit there and take that? Okay. Choose units, that doesn't do anything. We can't take these 2 with us. Reposition, we can reposition a bit. Let's see. But it's probably won't want to make too many changes. I might put Soren down here and leave the tougher characters up there. Yeah. So conditions are victory, defeat boss, and of course defeat Ike dies. And the enemies outnumber us 16-6. But I think we'll manage because it's Fire Emblem, and by Fire Emblem logic, heroes are always stronger than villains, except when the villains are bosses. So the reason I put Soren down here, we're gonna have him attack this guy. Cool thing about magic is it can be used to attack at range or up close, with no penalties or anything. So there's 3 main types of magic. There's 3 types of anima magic. There's also a 4th type, which is light magic, but only bishops can use that. Mages use wind, fire, and thunder magic. And so, sort of like the weapons triangle, there's a trinity of magic that determines what weapons are good against what. And he still has an iron axe. Why does he have an iron axe? Should trade that off to Boyd. Except we don't have Boyd right now. Guess we can trade it to Titania. So, and like weapons, the different types of magic have slight differences in the stats. Wind is the weakest but most accurate. Fire is in the middle, balance between accuracy and damage, and thunder is the strongest but least accurate. So we're going to have sort of a clump of units down here. That way our mage and our healer are protected. Because, like the healer, mages are physically pretty frail. You don't want them to get attacked by melee units. But they can do a lot of damage given the opportunity. A lot of melee-focused units tend to have low magic resistance, so mages can do a ton of damage to, for instance, knights, like the boss or Gatri. They have pretty low resistance. And Ike is a little bit in danger here. But this guy's gonna attack your tree, probably not gonna get too far. Do, 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 do. Ha ha! Alright, so Soren is a character that I actually do think I'll use. Ooh, Archer. I wasn't paying that much attention to enemy attack ranges there. I was just kind of getting in a formation that it protects the weaker guys, but maybe I shouldn't have put Ike so much out at the front. Gatri would have been better off there. Wow, there's a ton of enemies swarming around here. What was I saying? Mages are frail, Oh yeah, here's something I want to point out. Gatri is a level 9 knight. His strength is 12, his defense is 14, and he's got some other stats around 5 and 6. This boss is a level 10 knight. His strength is 10, his defense is 11, and his other stats, on average, are slightly lower, I think. So even though Gatri is lower level than the boss is actually weaker. So even being a boss doesn't protect you from Fire Emblem logic saying that you must be weaker than the heroes. Alright, so Soren could actually kill either of these two guys. Guaranteed. Let's kill this guy. Because what I'm then going to do is as follows. I'm first going to move Ike up and attack this archer, then I'll move Riss in and heal Ike. Then I'll kill, well, actually, this strategy, I need to make sure Gatri's got a pretty good chance of killing this guy, but maybe I'll do that first just to make sure I don't put Riss in danger. Pew! Okay, good, that works. Well, now we know we can protect Riss adequately and still do this strategy of getting Ike up here to attack this guy. 9 times 2 is 18, so that'll work out. Guaranteed insta-kill. You have no chance to survive. Make your time. Okay, I promise that's the last time I will reference Zero Wing. No, I don't. I've learned this from experience. And or not experience. I don't even know. Don't make promises you can't keep. I know I would not be able to help myself from referencing Zero Wing every once in a while. Alright. If we killed this guy... Yeah, okay. Titania's gonna come up here and attack this guy with her axe. Wow, I just called Titania man, that's pretty bad. I'm sorry, Titania, I didn't mean to offend you. You're a boss. Even if you're so overpowered that I'm not gonna use you later in the game. And try not to get you too many kills right here, but... What can I say? When I don't have very many units, they're the most useful. And I'm gonna discard the iron axe. Titania specializes most in axes. We can presume that before she was a paladin, she was a axe knight, but she can also use lances. She's just not as good with them. I sound like a chicken, which is, of course, my goal. You guys should know by now, I like sounding like a chicken. Just saying. In all honesty, I mean, the battle themes right here are pretty decent. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but they're not amazingly great songs, but they're pretty good. But, about halfway through the game, the music just sort of gets an overhaul and the battle themes change. And the battle theme for... You may have noticed there's different battle themes for when you attack an enemy and one of them attacks you. The song for when you attack an enemy in the second half of the game is awesome. I love it. I don't know why. Whatever. I'm so coherent. And speaking of coherence, that makes me want to sing incoherently. Because this game, it doesn't actually have a vocal version of the Fire Emblem main theme. I have to go to Smash Bros. Brawl for that. Kind of makes me sad. But, I find the Fire Emblem main theme to be very catchy. And I just always want to spontaneously burst out in song. I will now proceed to do that, not very spontaneously at all. And Soren's getting a critical hit. Okay, I'll stop. But... there we go. There is a mage being awesome. Mages can be kind of hard to level up compared to melee characters, just because you don't want them to get attacked by melee characters, because they have a higher chance of dying, so you don't put them out in places where they can get attacked like you do with other melee characters. I don't want, yeah. I don't want Titania to absorb a bunch of hits here, so... because she'll, you know, absorb EXP. So I'm going to put Ike there and leave Gatri there. Anyone need healing? No, not really. See, they're all out of the enemy's attack range, so we don't really need to worry too much about them being in exposed formations. I think I said something along those lines earlier. I will try not to in the future. But I won't make any promises, because it's like Zero Wing. Don't make promises you can't keep. Level up! I don't know. I think the Final Fantasy victory theme and the Zelda item get theme can just be applied to anything, even if you're not playing that game. Because I seriously do the Zelda item get noise in all sorts of situations. It's really kind of weird. Oh, I get you. You're not even a pre-promote, and even you are a waste of EXP at this stage in the game. Oh well, I mean, I can't worry too much about that, or I'll never get anywhere, because I'll just be trying to have Ike attack everyone, and that's not going to work out. Well, and Soren. Soren's not a waste of EXP. I will use Soren. You do get, like, 4 different mages in this game. There are some types of units that you get a whole lot of. If you count both Cavaliers and Paladins, or Mounted Knights and Paladins, to use this game's terminology, just be Lance Knights, Act Knights, whatever, you can have 6 of those type of guys, those horseback guys. 6! In the course of one game. You only get, like, 2 Myrmidons slash Swordmasters, plus Ike also uses swords. You get 6 potential Paladins. And you also get 4 mages, or the upgraded version, sages, since 1 or 2 of them you get as pre-promotes late in the game. At the end of the game, everyone's a pre-promote. The term isn't even really applicable anymore. Because it's not a sign of overpoweredness. But yeah, I don't know. Early in the game, we won't be seeing a lot of enemy mages. Which means Soren will be able to deal a decent amount of damage, but not defend at all. Well, I mean, mages aren't. I don't even know. I don't know what I'm going on about. I should probably take a break from recording. I've run out of things to talk about. Oh, wait, I haven't even talked about Fire Emblem Awakening yet, have I? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. That was at some point. That happened at sometime. Ooh, Soren up here. I'm thinking of putting Soren out here to attack the guy at range while still moving us forward a bit. He can't kill the guy, though, but someone else could do that. I'm gonna put him here and then move the other guys in around him. That's something I kind of often do. Soren does have a cool skill. I haven't even really taken a good look at the character menus yet, or the character info screen things. Well, let's do that now. No time like the present. Now, I just want to point out something. So here's all their stats and their weapons and items and whatnot. But these skills here, you can use special scrolls that you find to give them skills. These things like Adept. So Adept is pretty cool because you can occasionally get triple attacks with it if you can double hit and activate Adept. But I don't really know what the conditions are for activating Adept, so it's kind of awkward. Also, Biorhythm is something that only was in Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. I think it's not in like the handheld Fire Emblem games. It's not a major game mechanic. Basically, if their Biorhythm is at its peak, their stats have a slight increase, and if it's in a trough, they just have a slight decrease. Anyway, Tree is just gonna finish the job for us, even though I probably should just be only giving Ike and Soren kills. Oh well. Dang it, I'd said I would stop worrying about that, and I'm still here worrying about it. Move you there. No one really needs healing. Although, because Risk gets EXP when you heal people, we might as well just use him to heal even just like 1 or 2 points of damage at a time. Because the heal staff he has a lot of durability. If you have like a valuable staff where you don't want to waste the condition, then you've got a reason to not heal every turn, but since we're just using a basic heal staff that's not worth a whole lot, might as well just take every opportunity to give him more EXP. And we've got a Myrmidon attacking Ike. That's kind of a weird word, Myrmidon. This game was the first time I ever saw that word, and I think I've seen some other game use it at some point, but I don't, like, where does that come from? I've never even, like, heard of that outside of, well, I just denied that. I just said I've heard it somewhere. I don't even know. I just think that's a weird word. Why not just call them swordsmen or something? I mean, when they get a class change, they become swordmasters, and are awesome. You can get 2 of them in the game, and one of them is more immediately usable at the beginning, but they can both become pretty amazing if you... Ooh, he can get a double hit with the steel sword, finally. Both of them can be pretty amazing if you train them up enough. Anyway, you generally, if it doesn't offer any disadvantage, you do generally want to use heavier weapons, like steel sword instead of iron, because the heavier a weapon is, you can see it has a weight stat, like right there. The iron sword weighs 7, the steel sword weighs 10, or 12, it's the WT. Yeah, MT is might, so that's damage, hit is your accuracy, crit is the modifier you get to your critical hit rate, and weight is weight. And range, obviously, is range. The Regal Sword is pretty cool. We haven't shown that off yet. It's really overpowered. It does break eventually, but later in the game, at like the very end of the game, Ike will get another unique weapon. But yeah, your weapon level here determines what types of weapons you can use when you get more advanced kinds of weapons. Like, there's a skill that's required to use them, that E or D over there. So, and that stat will improve faster if you use heavier weapons, because they're harder to use. So generally you want to do that, if you have the option. So this guy's a Knight Killer. That's good against mounted units, like Cavaliers and Paladins, so we shouldn't park Titania right there. Instead, we're gonna put Gatry there. Yeah. I can't talk. It's odd, you get 4 mages, 6 paladins, you even get 2 myrmidons, but you only get 1 soldier in the entire game. It's kind of strange. I guess they usually like to reserve soldiers for the enemy team. Okay, at this point I've kind of run out of things to talk about. I really should stop recording for the day. Alright, Soren. Go be a boss. I actually would like to have, well, I mean, it's not the greatest thing ever. Actually, the guy has a javelin, so we probably shouldn't do that. But, a lot of times Soren can do a lot of damage, or just mages in general, can do a lot of damage to, these heavily armored knights, because their resistance is low. I think I said that earlier, but anyway. Radiance. Sometimes I just gotta make those noises. You know, sometimes you just gotta make noises. Just silly noises. Just all the time. All day, every day. Alright, Soren, you go do this. Since that guy has a javelin and you can't double hit him, why bother? But this guy, you can double hit him and almost kill him. If Adept activated, you would be able to kill him. But Adept, I don't understand the conditions, so... Or if you got a crit, that would work too. But you're not gonna get a crit or Adept, so... The guy's still alive. So that happens. How would Shinon do against this guy? Yeah, a decent amount of damage. If you use the steel bow, it'd be even better. So this guy does have a javelin, so he can attack at range. But he's not that accurate at range. And Shinon gets a crit. That was pretty potent. Oh my god! Double crit? Really? Really? It was only like 22%. It's not like he was wielding a killer bow, which is something that has an increased crit rate. Okay, well then, we won the mission. I was hoping someone like Soren or Ike could get the kill on the boss for the EXP, but whatever. I guess Shinon has to just go be a jerk. This swine's got some nice weapons. Besides, he ain't gonna complain. He won't need them where he's going. Shinon, get a hold of yourself. We can't afford such behavior right now. Steal from the dead on your own time. What, you judgmental little Shinon, stop this at once. This is no place for us to waste time bickering amongst ourselves. Now, something important is about to happen. Wait, Ike, I just saw something move on the far side of that thicket. A wounded soldier, perhaps? Let's go have a look. Careful now. Ooh. Thank goodness, it looks like she's merely fainted. Right, we'd better take her with us for now and make sure she's alright. Give me a hand, will you, Iris? Of course. I don't like this. And with that, the mission ends. We don't really get to learn anything more about this strange, unfamiliar woman until the next mission. So I'm gonna end this off here. I'm the Dog, and I will see you guys next time with more Fire Emblem Path of Radiance.